I'm out here this morning doing this. I'm gonna try to catch one on a glide bait first thing this morning. I got a pretty good decent fish yesterday off of a dock, so I'm gonna run around and hit a few docks on this lake and see what I can do. It's early, it's like 6:15, so just gonna do this for like the first hour this morning, maybe fish a little bit of wood, some standing timber. Now it's, back to shade, offshore, cover. So I'm gonna throw this glide bait around. This is the new SPRO KGB Chad Shad collab. Was able to get one from my local tackle shop, Past Eddie's, and so yeah, I'm excited to give this a whirl and fish these docks. So we'll see what we can do. Oh. Shoot. Oh. That sucks. Freaking hook on the front. Boo. Just blew it. Maybe on the next dock. Got him. Oh, that's a good one. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got him sideways. We're gonna try this boat flip. Please don't break my rod. Oh. Okay. Hang on, buddy. Okay. How about that? Ooh, I did have one in the mouth, but one on the side too. Oh, okay, buddy. Sorry about that. That's the new SPRO KGB Glide. KGB's been making some of the best swim baits, handmade swim baits, for a long time. Problem is, he can only make them so fast, and there's thousands of guys who want them. So he does a drop in about 30 seconds. They're all gone. So, and he might have 200 baits in a drop, 500 baits in a drop. They're still all gone in under a minute. So collaborated with SPRO. Got SPRO helping them kind of mass produce them. Now they're getting available to retailers. I'm telling you, for the money, this is as good as it gets right here. You got to get one. That is way too much fun. I had a really good bite on it yesterday, so I wanted to come out here and film just fishing around these docks. That's a solid 4-pounder, but I'm going to see what we can catch on this today. Awesome. I'll let him go. Too cool. Nope, that's zero fun. So I'm throwing this on a rod I actually got to help design. When I say help, I laid out all the specs, length, what I wanted the bend to do. So this rod is I made it to throw crankdowns, because nobody really made a swim bait rod specifically for crankdowns. And basically what I wanted was like a square bill crankbait rod that could throw 4-ounce baits. And so that's what Jinko designed. This is the Jinko Savant custom grip I designed. It's got a real parabolic bend, so that's good in a few ways. Generally you work a glide bait with a little bit of rod twitch, but a lot of times it's with the reel, so you don't need a super stiff rod to to jerk on a bait or whatever. And crankdowns, you just basically cast them out and reel them in. So, but it also works really great with glide baits. And what I found out actually through a buddy of mine in Texas who's really good with glide baits, he said, dude, when you hook a fish on your rod, he said, man, they don't get unhooked. He said, once you get one hooked, you land like every fish because of that bend of that rod. it's just like a big crankbait with big treble hooks. You know, guys use those soft tip, you know, parabolic rods so that they can land the fish on a crankbait, so they don't throw those big treble hooks. So that's what I designed with this rod, and I mean, this size bait is like ideal. So, you know, this is like a 6-inch glide bait. I think this one weighs 3 ounces. So it's literally what this rod was made for. And basically, I'm just trying to work down the sides of these docks. I think the fish are kind of loose on them this morning. Yesterday when I got a bite, it was late in the afternoon, evening, and just missed another one. They're really active under there today for some reason. Oh man. I think these are, you know, what I have is I've got some 2 and 3 pounders hitting this thing, and that's a lot of bait for a 2 pounder to get. So, oh, that's a terrible throw. But when I get a new glide bait, I take it out, bright sun, where I can see into the water really good. This morning I can't see anything, and that's a real hindrance with a glide bait. But I take it out and I look at the action, and I look at what's a sharp quarter turn do, what's a pull of the rod do. Oh, I'm gonna catch up to him. Golly. Yeah, see, that's what's hitting it. That's why I can't land all of them. I got 25-pound Suffix Pro Mix mono on here. I like mono, especially for crank downs. I always use mono. Again, that's the SPRO glide bait. Let me get him back in the water and we'll talk a little more about it. So when you have fish that size, you'll get hits, but you don't get hooked up a bunch. You just kind of got to be patient. And what I've noticed about this particular dock, there's multiple fish around it this morning. It's funny, yesterday evening when I caught the one fish, I fished here for another 45 minutes, never got another bite. And now this morning I've had 7 or 8 bites, but I've only hooked 2 of the fish, and the 2 fish I hooked, I've landed. So, but this particular dock, I've caught some fish close to 8 pounds off of, so that's kind of why I'm giving it a little extra turn this morning. I caught a 7-pounder fishing off the dock this winter when I was testing spinner baits. There's a deep hole on the other side, and they get down in that hole, and you can slow roll a spinner bait in the winter. But what I was saying is, I get a glide bait out. I want to see its action. I want to see how much it turns. I want to see, what does it do on just a steady, slow retrieve? Could I catch some fish just slow retrieving? Probably. But these fish are reacting. They're reacting to what I'm doing. And I proved this to myself with glide baits a few years ago. I've been throwing big swim baits for a long time. I never talk about it because it's something I really enjoy, and the more I share information about it, the more guys go and abuse your patterns on a lake. And so I've kind of kept this private to myself. I don't even share pictures. I have a bunch, but I haven't shared a bunch. So I'm on a lake that I don't get to fish very much. I'm not worried about it. Only a few people know about this lake, so it's not going to get blowed up. But what I found on Kentucky Lake, the bites I found on Kentucky Lake, I don't share very much because you don't get to have that pattern to yourself very long on that lake. So you tell somebody about it, it's beat up in a week. So, but back to what I was saying, I got out with this bait yesterday, and it's the first time I have the original. I've got several of the original Chad Shads. But I've been trying to get one of the SPRO ones, and it's been one of the hottest baits on the market. It's finally become accessible at retailers. There's a lot of, like my local tackle shop, Fast Eddie's has them. That's how I got this one. I tried getting them on Tackle Warehouse. The day they were released on Tackle Warehouse, they were gone in like 5 minutes. So I've been waiting for the restock there, and my guy sends me a text. He's like, "You think I can sell these?" I said, "They won't last the weekend." He got them right before Memorial Day. I said, "You won't have any come the end of the weekend," and sure enough, he sold out all but the trout color. So, yeah. So if you can get your hands on one, it's worth it. It's a fun bite. You need. I'm in a piece of brush right there, so that is one of the cautions. It's also why I use 25-pound line and an 8-foot rod. I'm keeping this bait. See, I already got it loose. If you don't set into the cover, usually the bait's so heavy and big enough, usually it can shake itself free. So, but yeah, I saw yesterday just working the bait. I actually stood on the walkway and just walked it up and down the walkway and watched it. A couple things I really like about this bait. I don't know if they did this intentionally. So this water is pretty dark. I can only see down in the water about a foot. See that SPRO logo on its back? If you can see that. That SPRO logo on its back. I can see that under the water. So that is actually what I'm watching. I'm actually watching that little logo on its back, and I can see that logo darting. So I know exactly what my bait's doing. But most of what I'm doing, you can pitch this bait like you're flipping. Obviously, be careful of the treble hooks. But I want to lay it in there pretty quiet, and I just want to walk it down the side. And I'm hoping there's a fish either under the dock, by a post, kind of looking out, because bass can see better when they sit in the shade and look out into a bright area. So he has a massive advantage when he does that. I'm sure you can't see that, but I'll just do a close little pitch to show you what this looks like. Obviously, I'm short stringed. I can't walk the bait as good. The closer you get, the harder it gets to make a glide bait do what you want it to do. But I said, yeah, let's tie that on. And in like 45 minutes, we absolutely hammered that school of fish. And what I noticed was that big profile and those kind of aggressive, darting and turns. That really got the fish going. They reacted to it. They were very aggressive towards it. Where the jerkbait was almost too subtle. It's like they saw it and they were like, yeah, it's a hurt minnow, but not interested. They were curious, but they wouldn't bite it. And but the glide bait guy, I think we caught 20-something fish on that glide bait. And I'm talking about like some of them, you'd work them all the way to the trolling motor, and you'd do something like aggressive hard move, circle around with the trolling motor and get those fish. It's like they were daring the bait to do something they didn't like. It was incredible. And that really opened my eyes up to and it's why you're seeing pros do this more on a tournament stage. It's like they need quality bites. And there's so many guys that are so good with electronics now and can find all the same stuff. What are you going to do to make a fish actually react, right? We all know he's there. We can all find them with our electronics. But what are you going to do to get that fish to commit and bite? And sometimes it's an ultra finesse thing. That's why the drop shots dominate so much. And sometimes it's the exact opposite. Sometimes it's you're so aggressive that fish feels almost challenged. I really think that's what it is with a glide bait. Oh, look. bottom.